Welcome back to the channel. We're doing a special family episode. We got my Uncle Scott here. We got my dad, Glenn. And we're going to be doing a single blind tasting because we know what we're tasting, obviously. We're tasting Elmer T. Lee. We're talking... We're tasting Blanton's single barrel. These are both single barrel products. This is a bonus episode for you guys. The day before yesterday, Matt and I did a Blanton's tasting with the different single barrel, the gold, the Blanton's gold, the Blanton's straight from the barrel, and I think this stuff, I don't remember. But the thing was, I got Mike and Ike's on this. I only got Mike and Ike's that time ever. Now I'm getting like this kind of peanut other thing. Pretty decent bottle, actually, right?
Kirkland? Yeah.
Yeah,
stuff. I'm familiar with that.
18 bucks. Well, this is from, they changed their source, I guess. It's now Barton 1792, new source.
Kirkland, that's my go-to.
You got to buy it by the barrel, though.
So I'm gonna make sure you guys are talking. I'd say about a fist from your mic when you're talking. It'll just make for the best, best audio experience for the listeners.
Got it.
We'll see.
Maybe better in the previous position.
We just keep the fist right here.
Me.
Make sure we got a good distance on that.
Yeah, if you just keep your fist there the whole time, that'll work, right? Yeah, don't take your fist too far. We just keep the fist there. This is the official drinking position.
That's the drinking. I'm in the drinking position now.
At some point, it helped you hold your head up. Yeah.
So describe again. What are we drinking? We got. What's the unique thing about these bottles? It's single. Because I'm a novice.
So they're both single barrel, which means that there's going to be potentially definitely some kind of drift, flavor profile drift, at least a little bit, because it's just a single barrel that we're drinking from. Each time they make one of these, it's just a single barrel. They're not blending to try and maintain any kind of flavor. They're just tasting each barrel to kind of make sure it tastes kind of like the other barrels they're putting out and bottling along the same line. So there's that. They are both from Buffalo Trace Distillery, and they're both mash bill number 2. So they're high rye. It's an undisclosed mash bill. So, but it's been guesstimated that it's about 12 to 15% barley, and it's then the rest corn and 12 to 15% rye, and then the rest barley and corn.
Okay.
And, mostly corn because it's probably like 70 something percent corn, 74%. Who knows exactly? They don't disclose their mash bill.
Okay.
But it is mash bill number 2, so we know that
they know what it is. We don't.
You know what? It's the same recipe that they use in both of these, just stored different.
Again, Dad, that mic is gonna be crucial.
Both?
They don't pick much up from. They're great for like not picking up a whole bunch of background noise, but if you're not right up on it,
got it. So they're both the same recipe, but different aging.
They also don't either have age statements, but it's been rumored that the Blanton's is somewhere between 6 and 8 years, and the Elmer T. Lee is somewhere around 12. So kind of a difference. And then the Blanton's is 93 proof. The Elmer T. Lee is 90. People get really hyped up about Blanton's on both sides. I've learned after joining some whiskey Facebook groups that people get real triggered about Blanton's and like are on either side. Yeah, triggered.
One way or the other, huh?
One way or the other, like
Chevy and Ford. What?
Not so much that, more like that. So, like some people, like it just gets overhyped. Like you can't find that hardly anywhere for less. I mean, you can find it for less than this, but you often see it for like $150 to $200 when the MSRP is like $55-$60. And it's been driven up because it's sought after because it's got a nice bottle and all these other reasons.
I like the way it looks for sure.
Whereas the stuff inside the bottle people say it's not worth that. Which, yeah, it is mostly true. And a lot of blinds are like Blanton's doesn't do that great. People don't know that they're not drinking Blanton's. So.
Gotcha. Well, their PR people are doing a good job.
Yeah, that's true.
And Elmer Elmer Lee.
Elmer T. Lee. So I didn't include this in the last time we did that blind with Matt because I've only seen it places for like $250, even $300, which is ridiculous.
Wow.
But I found it for much more reasonable, so I was like, I'll pick it up and we'll just do it. I'll taste it.
Okay, so this is definitely above my Kirkland grade drinking. Yeah, I was a Scotch drinker in college, but I haven't drank whiskey much, so this will be good for me to try this out.
Yeah, the bourbon is. I like the bourbon much better.
All right, so how do we do this?
I say we start with the drink on our right because that's going to be the same drink.
Now,
for
are
both of
these,
us.
so there's 2 different ones total. We each have the same. They're
Right.
not like you gave me 2 of the cheap brand, the Kirkland.
No, we're
It's all the same.
I know, we're tasting. We don't know which one's which, but we've got one of each.
right.
Gotcha.
The one on the right is going to be the same for both of us because
right.
we had the little numbers here. It's our odd number.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was wondering where you come up with all those numbers. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And so what's the proper way for a
Sláinte.
novice, which I am a tasting? I mean, I've drank whiskey before, but just what's the proper way to take a taste of whiskey?
Well, if you're really searching for the notes,
Yeah.
But one thing that people always say, and they're right about, is as long as you're enjoying it, you're doing it right.
Okay.
That's the number. I like to say that because that's true, and it's some people forget that. Like, they get like offended if somebody wants to put ice in their whiskey, or if somebody wants to throw some Coke in the whiskey. I even have been like, no, you're not throwing no Coke in that there. I got something for you with
Dr.
Coke.
Pepper?
Yeah.
But as long as you're enjoying it, you're doing it right.
Okay.
But that said, to like pick
Bottoms
out
up.
to pick out the subtle notes, yeah, if you shoot it, you're gone too. Give it a little.
Warm it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
we give it a little spin, and the reason you do this, you coat the glass, and the flavors will evaporate a bit, and just kind
Right.
of waft it by your nose. And
Okay. Do you have to have your mouth and your nose in the glass, or just your
no,
nose?
no, when you smell it, you don't even have to get your nose all the way in the glass. You can just like kind of waft it by and get the note that you're finding, and then eventually you can go in a little deeper once your nose
like
get
whiskey.
used to it.
It does.
It does smell like whiskey.
Smells good.
Sweet bourbony smell.
Yeah, sweet vermouth smells like a little vanilla, a little caramel.
Yeah, that for sure.
It's definitely light, and you can smell that it's not a heavy proof. Or at least I can with all the whiskeys that I smell on a regular basis.
What would be a heavy proof?
Once you get above like 115, you start jumping into that range. That's what I would consider a heavy
Okay.
proof. Anything above 115, I would
Yeah, I
start
remember.
moving.
Bacardi's 151, so
Yeah.
that's like, yeah.
We've got some old Carter up there that's like 148, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's some Everclear if you really need to rinse, wash something.
All right. And then taste?
Yeah, yeah. And then another thing, while you're tasting, like if you inhale while you're bringing the liquid in, kind of do a little chew and let it run from the back or from front to the back, and then swallow, and then exhale after you've.
Chew
Well,
and
it's
swallow.
just-
Okay.
It helps.
You're going to make me choke.
Real easy drinking, no doubt about it. I mean, you get the corn. One thing people don't mention a lot, I think, is that there's that corn.
Get the spice on it though. This one tastes a little spicy to me.
I think maybe because I've been. Yeah, there's a hint of spice on the nose there. I got. It's probably that higher rye versus being just a bunch of corn or being wheat. You know, if it was wheat instead, it wouldn't be
Yeah.
as spicy.
Oh, I'm into wine, by the way, so I'm kind of a
Using those notes,
whiskey whiner, not a wimp.
bottom of saddle.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm always-
leather. Got some leather, some tobacco, maybe some barnyard must.
good.
No, there's none of that in there.
I'm always impressed that you can smell stuff after some of those chemistry experience I've heard about.
Oh yeah,
in
there was
college.
my high school experience with checking to see if the chlorine.
Oh,
was
I did
really
that
being
same thing.
produced, And then
Yes, I
you're supposed
lost.
to waft it towards your nose, and I couldn't smell it, so yeah, I put the beaker right under my nose, and then
Right, that was
fire.
our.
burn out the cells, which helped me when the dogs were farting because I couldn't smell them. All the rest of the family's leaving the room, just me and the dogs. So yes, I'm not picking up any essence of dog fart in this. If anybody's looking, you're safe from that, at least with my nose.
It smells good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
good. That's
good.
good.
It is good. It's soft. It's got a real soft smell, a soft feel.
Yeah, the last tastings I did was rakia, the Bulgarian whiskey. It's so it's a lot harsher than this. This is really smooth and
Isn't that like
tasty,
distilled
way
wine or
smoother than
something?
the Scotch I used to drink.
Maybe it's just that I've been drinking a bunch of whiskey this weekend and camping last night and all that. But I'm definitely glad we didn't do this outside because that wind has been disastrous. I feel like it's a little easier to taste in here than letting the wind blow it all around. But I've been drinking rare breed and like this it doesn't have a whole lot to it for me at this point. It's just kind of
One note.
yeah. It's just,
So tasting this is similar to what you're looking for in wine then, where you're looking for, like I taste wines, I do more of that obviously than this, and I'm always looking for a complicated wine, and the way I put it is like a single note, like you were just saying, versus a chord, or a whole, it's a, 6-finger chord, or it's a, 10-finger chord. And that's how I rate wines. And the wines that are more complex I like a lot better because you feel all those different notes. And so I'll compare this when we try some other ones because I'm a newbie at this. So I haven't got a real good reference point of how complex whiskeys can get. I'm just kind of diving into this. So to see if this is like a single note ding, 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 or, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah. I love that analogy.
So
that's
the way
analogy.
I look at wine tasting is that it's, how complicated is it? And that's what I'm always looking for.
I guess people call it tasting notes anyway. So to make that jump to music, that's fantastic. Yeah, a chord or a whole 10-finger chord. That's great. I love that.
Yeah, like this one compared to like that. What was that? The Stag Junior and the Carter. All the different flavors you taste in that, and how like every sip there was like more different flavors, and this was more like same thing. Right. Every sip.
And that's why people get like why is this $200? Like why does every store have this for $200? We did get this for MSRP, which is why we picked it up because we got a little alert that said, hey, this bottle's available at this store for actually MSRP instead of the exorbitant prices that people are trying to get for it. And it's a simpler note. It's not as complex. If somebody's looking for a real complex, like your symphony that you're looking for, you're not going to get it from either of these. I don't think it's just not really going to happen. But you can get that Stag Junior if you get it at MSRP. You can get it for less than the Blanton's is,
even though it's a more complex, more flavorful,
or about the same.
Interesting. Just like wine, I've had. Well, I can't say I've had a $10 bottle of wine that's great, but you can get into the $30 bottles, $20 bottles of wine that are amazing. And you don't have to pay $60-$70 for a really good tasting wine, or even way more, of course.
Right. Yeah.
So what is the bottom, as a newbie? What is the bottom end of a good whiskey? What are you looking at price point? I know $2 Chuck versus $15 decent good bottle of wine, a local wine for $15 that everyday drinking wine that's even impressive to serve to guests. And then you go for you're doing something fancy. I'm thinking $30 to $50 for a bottle of wine. More than that, I don't even get into. But what are we talking when it comes to whiskey as far as pricing?
There's some really decent whiskeys out there for about $15.
Really?
For a bottle, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there are. And then there's a ton for like $30 and under. There's all kinds of good whiskeys for less than $30. Once you move up into the 50 to 55 range, there's a bunch of good stuff there. There's this line called the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, which is technically MSRP at $100.
Okay.
I mean, unless you win some kind of lottery or you're in a state-controlled state, which you're winning some kind of lottery to get access to that bottle, you're not going to find it. I mean, more often you're seeing them in places for like, $800,
so people
or $600, or even $1,200 or $1,700, depending on which of the five it is.
Okay, so people buy them out and then they resell them, kind of thing.
Yeah, secondary market, right?
Okay, gotcha. They just happen to have first dibs on getting them. Okay, so it gets up there.
It can get up there, yeah, for that stuff. But
that's pretty good. I mean, I'm impressed because this will last a lot longer than a bottle of wine.
True, you get
and you can enjoy it. You get more. Yeah, thinking about it.
I think about the highest end I've seen for MSRP on any whiskey is, and it's more of the craft stuff, like $250. You get some in the $250 range, maybe even $300 for some of that really fancy stuff. And the funny thing is that stuff you'll never see it for much more than that. Like the secondary doesn't go exorbitant like the BTAC stuff, like the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. It goes from $100 to $1,700. You don't see that stuff go like $250 to like $2,500 or something, unless maybe some random website that's like, maybe some sucker will click on this. But
is that because they make more of it? The stuff that they sell at $250?
Not necessarily. No? Not necessarily. It just doesn't have the same hype. It's not on the same hype train, yeah. So I say we move on to the Even Glass and see what's going on with this.
I'm going to save a little bit to come back.
Yeah, good idea.
Taste the other direction. So we don't know which either of these are, in any case. So we had somebody else pour these, and then they've been hermetically sealed since.
Yeah. Hillary poured some of these earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there is a good temperature to serve whiskey in, right? There's you don't want to have it chilled at all. You want it room temperature.
Well, if you like it chilled, like I had last night, we were camping and it's all warm out. I threw a big chunk of, I make my own ice, these big clear ice cubes.
Okay.
A big chunk of ice in there and threw some rare breed on top of that. And that higher proof stuff, that rare breed has a lot of flavor to it, so it works real well on the ice. It doesn't dilute it. It does dilute it, but it doesn't dilute the flavor so much because it's such a potent flavor in the whiskey that it's really enjoyable. So again, to go back to that earlier point, like how you enjoy it is best. Like whatever temperature you like it at. Some people don't like to drink warm stuff.
Right.
Like period.
Yeah, like I like room temperature red wine. I don't like chilled at all. I like red wine, room temperature.
Well, if you're
white
looking
wine,
for
I can
those
do a little
notes,
cooler.
if you're looking to find the notes,
especially for the flavors and the notes, because warmer you get more effervescence, more volatility.
More volatility.
exactly.
So this one, I don't even notice much yet, because that other one had so much stronger.
It's got a similar sweet smell, which makes sense. It's the same stuff, or the same menu.
This one I'm smelling a little bit more. I'm smelling more age on this.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, it does
tastes
have a little more.
smoother.
It's got something about it that's a little. It's not funky, but it's a different smell to it for sure.
There's a little bit of. I'm getting a little touch of chocolate on this that I wasn't getting on the odd glass, the even glass. We got our odd glass. We got our even glass.
Yeah, there is
I
a
think
different.
this is the 12.
There is a different aroma there for sure.
It's interesting that, I mean, it's basically, other than that, it was obviously in different barrels, but the same recipe.
Yeah, that's got a
What's some different kind of age.
different
it makes it
flavor for
taste.
sure. I can't put my finger on it.
And were the barrels like charred the same? They basically use a similar style barrel, or?
I don't know what the char was on the. I don't know. I couldn't answer that.
Because I know that makes a big difference on the wine too. How charred the barrel is.
Sure.
How much oak you get out of it. And yeah, this one tastes a little bit smooth. Oh yeah, I got that chocolate taste now. I didn't get that on my first sip.
And it's not dark chocolate. It's like a
No, it's-
milk chocolate almost like.
Well, I'm used to the dirt.
Yeah.
So the non-sugared chocolate. So anything that tastes a little chocolatey seems a little sweeter to me than what I'm used to eating.
Yeah, that definitely has a more complicated kind of flavor to it.
Oh yeah, definitely getting some chocolatey stuff on there now.
One thing I noticed, it's not as easy to go back and forth like with wine. The impact on your tongue is way different than the impact on your tongue by drinking whiskey, for sure. Yeah.
I've said that too. Like if
You know, what do you do to rinse your palate between, like in wine? I know I eat a piece of cheese or have a drink of water or something to kind of cleanse the palate between.
Yeah, some water, maybe
So
some
water,
corn,
stuff
corn
like that.
chips and some water or something.
So things like that, yeah. Because it's
Does it have to be corn if it's bourbon?
I
be corn
feel
chips?
like tortilla chips are good, but corn tortilla chips because it's mostly corn that we're
Okay.
drinking
Potato,
anyway.
so
Makes
you're
sense.
Keeping it in the family.
Yeah. That's my methodology behind it. That's my line of thinking.
So what are the notes you're getting out of this? Just kind of like as a novice taster, because I know when I'd go to wine tasting things and they tell you all those flavors and those notes, and then you go, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right.
Well,
I see the chocolate for sure.
Okay, from the second one, I'm getting. There's a touch of there's like stone fruit. I've gotten that before.
Yeah, because I'm tasting something I can't put my finger on. It's like
Maybe like an apricot or something.
Yeah,
like
something-
a real ripe apricot.
something like overly ripe something.
Corn, overly ripe corn that's been.
Maybe that's it. Fermented corn. Could
I'm
be
gonna
that.
say I like that better because it's gone.
I like.
It's definitely more
I like
complicated.
the second one, the even one, better. I do. It's smoother. It's got that little chocolatey taste to it. So
Yeah.
for it being the same recipe, it's like, there's distinct difference in the way it tastes. And I'm guessing that it's the 12-year and that aging, I think, helped it out.
I'm definitely not as sophisticated as you guys are at figuring all that stuff out.
Well, I feel blessed to have family that's willing to come and check it out and like actually try and go through the experience. It makes
No, it's good.
doing this by yourself is not nearly as fun as doing it with other people. I promise.
That's yeah. Drinking alone,
Yeah.
not a good thing.
Unless you're George, then you're doing bourbon and scotch.
And beer.
And
I like
an
them
old-
both. I must
an old
say,
granddad.
they both taste great. They're both.
They're both good. I like the second one better, though.
Yeah, there's something a little bit more musty on the odd glass. There's a little
Yeah.
interesting musty note, which is interesting. I've got such a wide palate. I enjoy a lot of different things. I mean, sometimes I eat maggots for fun. Like it's a broad
good.
palate. So I can appreciate just about any whiskey. There's some that I'm definitely like, this is just has no character to it. Where it's like tastes like it didn't get far enough away from the alcohol. But other than that, like I enjoy lots of different whiskeys, and it depends on the mood I'm in. But I don't know. I would say I'm with you, Dad. The even one is most likely the Elmer T. Lee. And that's what I'm going with. But I like it better too.
Yeah.
We'll see. We got our little.
Oh, it's written
Oh,
down
it's
somewhere, so we
written-
have it.
it is written
down.
There's no.
I'm not expecting you to try and pick out which one it was.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Unless you, maybe I could do it if you
Wait
let
a
me
minute.
taste it out of the bottle. Like if I put them to where I tasted the bottle and the glass, I might be able to tell which one's which.
Yeah, no, it is the odd. The odd is the Blantons, and the even glasses was the Elmer Chile. So
Yeah.
All right, Elmer.
Yeah, it's definitely more. So what's the difference in aging now between these two?
well, it's not. There's no age statement on this.
There isn't,
But
so
it's
we don't know.
No, but
It's
it's been rumored by
rumored
people who are kind of more in the know that that's likely somewhere between 6 to 8 years.
Okay.
And I believe this is more around the 12-year mark.
Wow. And now they age them in the barrel for 6 to 8 years, and this one for possibly 12 years in the barrel.
Right.
Not like a bottle of wine where they bottle it and then just let it age in the bottle. This is actually in the barrel.
Yeah, once you take it out of the barrel, it's no longer aged.
They don't count that.
Right.
Okay. Wow.
This could sit in this bottle for 100 years. It'll still be.
How long would whiskey sit in a bottle? How long
If
is it?
stored,
When do you-
if
when should
stored
you drink it?
properly, a long time.
Long time.
Like as long as it's not getting
a
too
lot
hot or
higher
cold, as long
alcohol.
as you're not like leaning the bottle over like this. You want to store whiskey upright.
Okay.
You don't
Less-
want that. You
less
don't want that cork.
airspace.
It's not like wine where you want the cork
Oh.
a little wet. You want that.
it wet.
You don't really want. I mean, you might. It might. I don't know that it would hurt. This is something I don't know. If every now and then you want to just go by and shake the bottle or something,
Make sure it's not getting.
make sure it's
air on
not
it.
getting
Dry
dried
out,
out.
getting
Maybe
air.
it's
It's
like
got so
completely
much
dried.
more alcohol in it. than
Yeah.
wine.
Right.
But this is the way to store whiskey. Is
Okay.
upright like
Upright.
that. You wouldn't want to line it over on the side. That'd be end up being real bad real quick.
Okay, so where's that Kirkland?
Oh, is that what we decided to try?
Is that what you want to try? I was gonna say, well, what's that clock say over there? Oh, we've got enough for this episode. Okay. I'd say, but we could always do a second bonus episode if you guys want to keep going. But I was planning to do one, and we can easily drink more.
I only have to go
We-
a few feet down the hall.
Yeah, I know. We can
Just
drink a
have
lot
one
more
to
off
crawl
cam. We don't
home.
have to record it. We can just,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, do you want to do the honors?
What are the honors?
Sign us out.
Oh,
Oh, we don't throw these over our shoulder or anything?
yeah.
I mean, if you-
throw 'em in the fireplace.
You can if you
Something
want
like
to. I'm not. I won't
Well,
be mad. I got a bunch
like,
of these things.
I like these glasses. They're nice.
Let's see. It's everything's better with whiskey.
And family.
Friends.
Oh,
And family.
well, we surpassed friends. We never had to go through the whole friend thing.
All right. I'm still sipping.